making headlines tonight. Inking the documents, General Secretaries of SLFP and UPFA signed nomination papers for local government elections. Demands, strikes and discussions. Trade union action by railway employees continues. Talks with government inconclusive despite an ultimatum on their employment. Fallen giant. Another tusker found dead. Officials say traces of toxins were discovered in the elephant's body. In sports, Sri Lanka wards off losing streak, registers a 7-wicket victory against India in the first ODI at Dharamsala. Engaging with the reclusive state, highest-level UN visit to North Korea since 2012 wraps up. Emphasis on keeping channels open and preventing miscalculations to avoid a possible war. Bringing you top stories from across Sri Lanka and around the world tonight, first at 9. I'm Indivari Amuatta. We start off with your headline-making stories. A special discussion between Secretary to the President Austin Fernando and the Alliance of Railway Operations Supervisory Officers Unions was ended a short while ago. The discussion, which focused on the ongoing railway strike, had, however, proven inconclusive. Following the discussion, the trade unions are now engaged in a further meeting regarding the strike action. Railway trade unions continued the strike for a fourth day today in a backdrop where they faced an ultimatum to report to work or lose their jobs.
Alliance of Railway Operations Supervisory Officers Union launched a strike 4 days ago demanding that the cabinet paper on rectifying their salary anomalies be approved immediately. Other Derana witnessed that commuters were highly inconvenienced today as well. Police had to intervene to control some angry commuters at the Colombo railway station today. Foreigners, tourists were also inconvenienced by the strike action.
No trains to go, and we can't go to go.
This is a bit inconvenient because the trains are on strike, so we can't go to Agama. But at the same time, we are supportive of this because this shows that Sri Lanka is a democratic country, right? That people can go on strikes without fear. So on the one hand, yes, it's inconvenient, but at the same time, we are quite excited that Sri Lanka is a true democracy.
The Department of Railways said that although train journeys had not been carried out as per the timetable, necessary services such as transporting fuel were carried out normally. Employees did not report duty today, although the government has warned that they will be considered as having vacated their positions if they do not report to work within 24 hours. Meanwhile, a special discussion was held between Minister of Education Akhila Viraj Karivasam and the railway trade unions engaged in a strike today. During the discussions, the minister requested the trade unions to provide uninterrupted train services to students who will be sitting for the O-level examination, which will commence from Tuesday onwards.
On to a tragic tale of man versus nature now on our news. Following the killing of the famous tusker Dalaputua at the hands of poachers last month, yet another elephant known in the area for its single tusk was found dead last evening. The tusker belonged to the Puttalam Kaladia and Silanankandal reserves in Puttalam. Wildlife officers who arrived at the location identified gunshot wounds on the body of the elephant. Following a post-mortem examination by a group of wildlife veterinarians, however, traces of poisonous substances were discovered in the elephant's body, which they suspect may have led to its death. On to our political stories tonight. Accepting party nominations for the local government election will commence tomorrow. Nomination papers of the UPFA and the SLFP for the upcoming local government election were signed today. The papers were signed by the General Secretaries of both parties. Meanwhile, Digamadula District UPFA parliamentarian Sriyani Vijayvikrama, who supported the joint opposition, says she will now support the SLFP led by President Maithripala Sirisena for the upcoming local government polls.
The official signing of nomination papers for 93 Pradesh Sabhas was held at the head office of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party in Colombo today. Accordingly, General Secretary of the UPFA Mahinda Amaravira and General Secretary of the SLFP Duminda Disanayaka commenced the signing process from the Galneva Pradesh Sabha in Anuradhapura.
නෑ මම කියන්නේ නෑ මේ දෙකඩවීම මේ යම් පිරිසක් හරි නැතිවීම අපිට හොඳ දෙයක් කියලා කියන්න මම උත්සාහ ගන්නෙ නෑ. UNP එකට පොඩි හරි වාසියක් තියෙනවා. අපිත් එක තාම සාකච්ඡා තියෙනවද එක්කම වෙන්නේ නැද්ද? මම දන්නේ නැහැ එහෙම සාකච්ඡාවක් පිළිබඳව. මේ සාකච්ඡා කරන්න කාටවත් පුළුවන්. ඉතින් දැන් අපි නාම යෝජනා අත්සන් කරන්නේ. අපි බාර දෙන්න පටන් ගන්නවා.
ගමේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න තියෙන අවස්ථාවේ එක්සත් ජනතා නිදහස් සන්ධානයේ ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න තියෙන අවස්ථාවේ දෙකට බෙදීමකට හෝ වෙනත් පාරක යෑමේ කිසිම අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නැහැ. ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයෙන් වැඩිමෝන් නම් 5%ක් 10ක් අපෙන් ඈත් වෙයි. 90%ක් අපි ගාව ඉඳලා ඒ 10 අපිට එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂනුත් අනිකුත් පක්ෂනුත් එකතු කරගෙන අපිට ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න පුළුවන්කම තියෙනවා.
Meanwhile, a number of Tamil politicians expressed views over their preparation for the upcoming local government polls due in February. Minister of National Coexistence and Dialogue and Official Languages Mano Ganesan says the Tamil Progressive Alliance will contest in several districts independently from the United National Front. TNA parliamentarian M.A. Sumanthiran and the leader of the EPRLF, Suresh Premachandran, also aired their views on the elections.
ඒකාබද්ධ පක්ෂේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා දස් පක්ෂේ දැන් මේ දිගින් දිගටම තියාගෙන යනවා සාකච්ඡා. යම් විදිහකින් ශ්‍රී ලංකා දස් පක්ෂේ ඒකාබද්ධ පක්ෂේ එකතු වුණොත් ඒක ආණ්ඩුවට බලපෑමක් වේද පැවැත්මට.
ඉතින් ආණ්ඩුව කියන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවත් අතර ඉන්නවනේ. ජනාධිපතිවරු ඉන්නවනේ.
ඉන්නේ ඇමතිවරු ආණ්ඩුවෙන් අයින් වෙලා ආවොත්
ජනාධිපතිවරු අයින් වෙලා යයිද නෑනේ. ජනාධිපතිව එක තමයි ආණ්ඩුව. මේ ඇමතිවරයා කතා කරනවා මම පත් කර ජනාධිපතිතුමා. ඒකාබද්ධ විපක්ෂයේ කල්ලිය ඒ කාලේ කරපු අපරාධ වැරදි තියා බලලා ඒක ජනතාවට තීරණ අරගෙන ඒකට විරුද්ධව ජනපරමක් ලබා ගන්න අපේ ආණ්ඩුව ඇදුවේ. එතකොට මේ සාකච්ඡාව කරන්නේ බෑ. මේ සාකච්ඡාව මම හිතනවා ඒක සාර්ථක වෙන්නේත් නෑ. ඒක අසාර්ථක වෙලා ඉවරයි.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ඔබතුමාගේ පාර්ශවයේ මේ තරඟ කරන්නේ මොන පක්ෂයත් එක්කද කියලා.
දමිළ ප්‍රසිද්ධ සන්ධානයේ යටියට අපි නොවරෙලිය, මහනුවර, මාතලේ, බදුල්ල, රට්ටපුර, කෑගල්ල, කළුතර, කොළඹ, ගම්පහ සමහර තැන්වල අපි එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂ සමග එකතු වෙලා එක්සත් ජාතික පෙරමුණට තරඟ කරනවා. අනිත් තැන්වල අපි අපේ සන්ධානයට තනියම තරඟ කරනවා.
දමිළ ජාතික සන්ධානය පක්ෂ නායකතුමන් එකතු වෙලා පළාත් පාලන සභා මැතිවරණයේදී පක්ෂ 3ක් එකතු වෙලා ඊළඟේ තමිළ කච්චි නමෙන් අපි ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා කියලා තීරණයක් ගත්තා. අපේ බලාපොරොත්තුව තමයි දමිළ ජනතාව අපි තරඟ කරන ස්ථානවල අපිට දැඩි සහාය දෙනවා කියලා EPRLF දැන් දමිළ ජාතික සන්ධානයෙන් ඉවත් වෙලා TULF එක්ක එකතු වෙලා තරඟ කරන්නේ. මේ මැතිවරණය තුලින් තමයි ජනතාවගේ ඕනාව ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කඳ එළිදරව් වෙන්න අවස්ථාවක්. LTT හිටපු කීප දෙනෙක් අපිත් එක්ක තරඟ කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්වත් අපි අපේ නාම ලයිස්ට්වේ එකතු වෙන්න පුළුවන් ස්ථානවලට අපි එකතු කරනවා. සමහර අය වෙනම පක්ෂයක් හදලා තරඟ කරනවා. ඒකත් பிரஜாதந்திரவாதே වෙන දෙයක්.
முதலாவது நாங்கள் ஏற்படுத்தப்பட்டிருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த மாற்று முன்னணிக்கு தமிழ் தேசிய விடுதலை கூட்டமைப்பு என்ற பெயர் சூட்டப்பட்டிருக்கின்றது. அதனுடைய சின்னமாக உதயசூரியன் சின்னமும் பிரகடனப்படுத்தப்பட்டிருக்கின்றது. இன்று எங்களுடன் இணைந்திருக்கக்கூடிய ஈரோஸ் ஜனநாயக முன்னணி என்பது திருக்கோயில் அம்பாறை மாவட்டத்திலும் மட்டக்களப்பு மாவட்டத்தின் பல பிரதேச சபைகளிலும் திருவண்ணாமலை மாவட்டத்தின் பல பிரதேச சபைகளிலும் குறிப்பாக அவர்கள் போட்டியிட இருக்கின்றார்கள். வன்னியிலும் சில பகுதிகளில் அவர்கள் போட்டியிட இருக்கின்றார்கள்.
Chief Minister of the Western Province, Isura Devapriya, says it will be President Maithripala Sirisena's decision whether to sever ties with the United National Party or not. He made these comments at a public event held in Colombo today. His remarks came in a backdrop where SLFP members are expressing different opinion on ties with the UNP and the unity government.
අපිට එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයකවත් අපිට පොදු එක්සත් පෙරමුණෙක්වත් මේ නගර සභාවේ ඩීල් දාන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ, එකතු වෙන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ. මේ සිස්ටම් එක හදලා තියෙන විදියට ඔය හැමෝටම හිතන දේවල් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපේ පොදු අතුර වෙන්නේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය. ඒ නිසා ඔය දීග කෑවට පොරොන්දක් තියක් කිසි දෙයක් ගැලපෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි කොයි වෙලේද මේ ආණ්ඩුවෙන් එළියට එන්නේ කියන එක කාටවත් කියන්න බෑ. ඉතින් කොහොමද යකෝ ආණ්ඩුව එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය ආණ්ඩුව අපේ ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ ආණ්ඩුවට අපි ඒ නිසා ආණ්ඩුවෙන් අපි එළියට යනවාද කියලා තීන්දුව කරන්නේ ජනාධිපතිතුමා.
Parliamentarian Bandula Gunawardena claims that Sri Lanka will face critical economic challenges in the international market due to several statements made by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe recently. He made the remark at a media briefing convened by the members of the joint opposition today.
2008 වර්ෂයේ සිට බැඳුම් කර නිකුත් කරලා තියෙන්නේ වංචා සහගත ලෙස. බව අගමැතිතුමා වගකීමෙන් යුතුව පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. මේ 2008 සිට 2014 දක්වා බැඳුම් කරවල විදේශිකයෝ මුදල් ආයෝජනය කරලා තියෙනවා. 2008 සිට මහා බැංකුව හොරට බැඳුම් කර නිකුත් කරලා තියෙනවා නම් මේකී සියලු ආයෝජකයෝ ආයෝජනය කරලා තියෙන්නේ හොර බැඳුම් කර වගේ එක. ඒ නිසා මේ මුදල් හෙට දවසේ ඉඳන් ආපහු ගෙනියන්න පටන් ගත්තොත් විදේශිකයෝ. එදාට මොකක්ද ඇති වෙන තත්ත්වය? දැන් රටේ අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමා කියනවා නම් මේ ලංකා ආණ්ඩුව ගන්න ණය හංගලා තියෙන්නේ. මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ගත්ත ණය හංගලා තියෙන්නේ. පොත්වල ලියලා නැහැ. මෙහෙම කිව්වහම මේ ණය හංගන රටකට තවදුරටත් ණය ආධාර දෙන්න කැමැති වෙන මූල්‍ය වෙළඳපොළ කුමක්ද? අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ කරනු ලබන ප්‍රකාශය නිසා තවදුරටත් අපිට ජාත්‍යන්තර වෙළඳපොළෙන් ණය ගැනීම පිළිබඳ විශාල ප්‍රශ්නයක් මතුවෙනවා. මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශයේ විසින් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තිබෙන වාර්ෂික වාර්තාවේ විගණකාධිපතිතුමා කියලා තියෙනවා ජාතියට රටට දැරිය හැකි ණය ප්‍රමාණය දළදේශීය නිෂ්පාදනයෙන් 80%ක් පමණයි. විගණකාධිපතිවරයාගේ නිරීක්ෂණ අනුව ඒ ප්‍රමාණය රතු ඉර පැනලා 83.3 දක්වා වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ කරුණු හතරම මූල්‍ය වෙළඳපොළක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් ගත්තාම විශ්වසනීයභාවය සම්පූර්ණයෙන් පළුදු වෙන මුදල් ක්‍රමයේ කඩා වැටෙන්න හේතු වෙන කරුණු හතරක්. බ්ලූම්බර්ග් ජාත්‍යන්තර ආයෝජනයේ පිළිබඳ දර්ශකයේ අනුව ලකුණු 100ක් ලබා දෙන එකෙන් ලකුණු 12ක් ලබන ආයෝජනය කරන්න වැඩිම අවදානමක් තිබෙන රට බවට ලංකාව මේ වන විට පත් වෙන අමාරයි.
Minister of Industry and Commerce Rishad Badiuddin says the Cost of Living Committee will convene tomorrow, headed by President Maithripala Sirisena, to make some important decisions. Minister Badiuddin revealed this speaking to media today at the ministry premises in Colombo.
ඒගේ නිසා තමයි මේ ප්‍රශ්නයකුත් ආවේ. ගම් පළාත්වල එච්චර ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. නගරයේ තමයි මේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්නේ. ආණ්ඩුවක් හැටියට අපි පොල් වතු තියෙනවා. ඒ පොල් වතු බාරේ ඉන්න අමාත්‍යාංශ තුනක් තියෙනවා. ඒ අමාත්‍යාංශ තුනම ඉන්න ඇමතිවරු සමග, ලේකම්වරු සමග, ඒ ආයතන ප්‍රධානිය සමග සාකච්ඡා කරලා ඒ ආයතන වල එන පොල් සතස ශාලාවල රුපියල් 65ට අපි විකුණනවා. නමුත් ඒ අපේ ඉල්ලීම සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම ඉටු කරන්න බැරුව ඉන්නේ. ඒ නිසා අපි හෙට හවස අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ නායකත්වයෙන් ජීවන වීර කමිටුව එතුමා රස කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ මීටිමැදි පොල් ආනයන කරනවද නැද්ද කියලා අපි තීන්දුව ගන්නවා. ඒ අතර පාලන මිලක් අපි ගෙසට් කරනවා පොල් වලට රුපියල් 75.
President Maithripala Sirisena attended a gathering organised by the Polonnaruwa Royal College Past Pupils Association, Colombo branch, yesterday.
The president attended the gathering in Kegol on his way to Polonnaruwa. Joined by his school batchmates, the president was seen engaging in cordial discussions.
සුසන්ත ගුණරත්න ජනාධිපතිතුමත් එක්ක හිටපු මල්ල ක්‍රීඩකයෙක්.
මම මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන 1966 පාසලට ඇතුළු වුණේ. අවසාන වරට පාසල් ගියේ 1971 අප්‍රේල් 5.
The United Christian Fellowship of Sri Lanka held their annual Christmas program on Friday, aimed at supporting underprivileged children. The event took place under the patronage of State Minister of Finance Iran Vikramaratne at the Methodist Church in Muratua. United Christian Fellowship of Sri Lanka is an organisation involved in community service for the underprivileged and also carry out housing programs for the needy. State Minister Iran Vikramaratne presented school supplies to 100 children at the event. Let's now take a look at other stories making news across the country.
A group of representatives from the Tamil National Alliance in Vavuniya pledged their support to the United National Party today. Former chairman of the Northern Provincial Council M. Balasubramaniam were among those who pledged their support. 50 families from Varunagam in Vallavai claim that they have been receiving water bills citing exorbitant sums and may have been overcharged by the National Water Supply and Drainage Board during the past few months. Residents who normally receive water bills amounting to 200 to 400 rupees have received bills of 50,000 rupees. Our attempts to contact officials from the NWSDB, however, were futile. 12 persons from Glano Estate in Haputale were hospitalized after they suffered from food poisoning yesterday. Among those who fell ill were 2 children.
Crowning talents and dreams of youth in one-of-a-kind reality TV spectacle, the grand finale of Derana Dream Star Season 7 was worked off last night. Sunira Sumanga from Ragama captured the hearts of the audience and viewers, clinching the title Derana Dream Star Season 7.
Derana Dream Star.
Drawing reality TV into a new dimension, Derana Dream Star Season 7 kicked off with the participation of over 100,000 contestants. Under the guidance of a veteran judge panel comprised of Kirti Pascual, Samita Mudun Kotua and Nadige Guruge, the list was narrowed to 48 contestants. The subsequent rounds put the viewer in charge, letting contestants be chosen via SMS votes for the public, giving rise to 3 finalists majoring in 3 different musical fields. Accordingly, Sunira Sumanga from Ragama, Mahesha Sandamali from Veyangoda and Shalin Kaushalya from Kaduwela battled for the ultimate crown at the grand finale held at the Sugatadas Indoor Stadium last night.
Derana Dream Star Grand Finale.
Several prominent artists attended the grand finale, which was also lit up by performances of past winners of Derana Dream Star Season 1 to Season 6. The 3 finalists put on a show of talent, challenging one another and stunning the audience both in the arena and via television. Wrapping up the contest, while taking it a step further, the contestants were challenged to sing a song chosen by the judges. Subsequently, awards were presented to the top 16 contestants. Throughout the contest, SMS votes were polled by the public and the audience to determine the winner. Accordingly, the 3rd place went to Mahesha Sandamali from Veyangoda. The runner-up was Shalin Kaushalya. With the record total of SMS votes, Sunira Sumanga was crowned Derana Dream Star 2017. Sunira Sumanga clinched not only the trophy but also a massive array of prizes, including a cash prize of over 1 million rupees, a luxury motor vehicle and land worth 2.5 million rupees.
You are watching Sri Lanka's #1 news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
In business news, the Asian Development Bank has agreed a $4 million loan to improve Sri Lanka's shipyard industry, increase the country's competitiveness and spur greater regional cooperation. The loan to Walker's Colombo shipyard will finance the country's first ship lift and transfer system, facilitating onshore repairs and dry docking of tugs, yachts, fishing vessels, small tankers and general cargo carriers. The construction of the Colombo shipyard, earmarked for the development of the ship repair facility, is expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2018. Issuing a communique recently, ADB's Deputy Director General for Private Sector Operations, Christopher Thames, said Sri Lanka's potential as a trade hub for shipping and maritime activities for South Asia is significant given the country's strategic location in the Indian Ocean. Dilshan Veerasekara has been appointed a director to the board of Colombo Stock Exchange with effect from November 21st this year. Veerasekara is an investment banker and director, chief executive officer of First Capital Holdings, and has a career spanning over 22 years comprising diversified experience in financial services, including treasury and investment management, capital market strategy and corporate finance advisory. With that, it's time to take a look at a few other stories in corporate news.
A strategic public-private partnership agreement was inked between United Nations Development Programme Sri Lanka, the United Nations Global Compact and Unilever Sri Lanka on the promotion of public-private partnerships for sustainable development in Colombo recently. The partnership is an initiative towards collaborating the public sector, private sector, academia and non-government development agencies in assisting the island realize key priorities related to the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. Commercial Bank, Aiken Spence Holdings, Dialogue Axiata and Mars Holdings alongside Unilever Sri Lanka pledged assistance in supporting sustainable business projects in the future. Richard Pearis and Company plans to invest between 15 to 20 billion rupees in several projects over the next 3 years that will see electric cars, lithium batteries and oud perfume being manufactured in Sri Lanka. Chairman of the company, Dr. Sena Yadhiyage, made the announcement addressing gathering in Colombo, adding that the group's revenue increased from 180 million rupees in 2002 to 4.1 billion rupees in 2017.
In international business news, the European Union and Japan have agreed terms for a free trade deal set to create the world's biggest open economic area. The deal, the largest struck by the EU, is expected to liberalize almost all trade between the bloc and the world's third largest economy. It is seen as a challenge to protectionism championed by US President Donald Trump. It must now be ratified by EU members and the European Parliament. A joint statement by the EU Commissioner, President Jean-Claude Juncker and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said the deal had strategic importance and fighting the temptations of protectionism beyond its economic value. The first US Bitcoin futures will start trading at 6 p.m. Eastern Time today, around 4:30 a.m. Sri Lankan time tomorrow. The futures market, which CBOE has been planning for more than 6 months, will allow investors to bet on the future price of Bitcoin and provide many benefits to traders, including transparency, efficient price discovery, deep liquidity, and centralized clearing. The cryptocurrency, also known as Bitcoin, has nearly doubled in price since the start of this month, but recent days saw sharp moves in both directions, losing almost a fifth of its value on Friday after surging more than 40% in the previous 48 hours. However, while some market participants are excited about a regulated way to bet on or hedge against moves in Bitcoin, others caution that risks remain for investors and possibly even the clearing organizations underpinning the trades. Bitcoin rocketed to another record high close of $16,000 today on the Luxembourg-based Bitstamp exchange after gaining more than $4,000 in just 48 hours. Still in international business news, the UK's Brexit negotiator David Davis has described the deal struck by Prime Minister Theresa May to move to the next phase of talks as a statement of intent. Speaking to the BBC, he said it was not legally enforceable, and if the UK failed to get a trade deal with the EU, then it would not pay its divorce bill. Britain and the European Union struck a deal this Friday to move on to talks about trade and a transition period after they agreed on the outline of their divorce.
We want to protect the peace process, and we also want to protect Ireland from the impact of Brexit for them. So we were, this was a statement of intent more than anything else. It was much more a statement of intent than it was legally enforceable. I think if we don't get a deal, we're going to have to find a way of making sure we keep the frictionless border, as it were, an invisible border.
And stock market analysts in Sri Lanka expect a lackluster activity at the Colombo Bourse due to the holiday season, coupled with political uncertainty. Dimantha Matthew from First Capital Holdings brings us the market forecast for the upcoming week.
We expect the market to continue to witness the slowness in the activity with the current holiday season and also with the uncertainty that is prevailing in the political front. The local buying interest and turnover levels are likely to remain on a moderate note, with investors adopting a wait-and-see approach, looking out for proper direction in the index. We expect the overall market to be negative on thin volumes, while some participation from high net worths and also institutional investors are anticipated.
In international news, United Nations Under-Secretary General for Political Affairs Jeffrey Feltman, who wrapped up a rare visit to North Korea yesterday, told senior officials in Pyongyang that there is an urgent need to keep channels open and prevent miscalculations to reduce the risk of a possible war. Tensions over North Korea's weapons program were raised further after their latest ballistic missile test last week.
UN Under-Secretary General for Political Affairs Jeffrey Feltman's visit to North Korea is the highest level trip by a UN official to the isolated state since 2012. Feltman emphasized the need for the full implementation of UN Security Council resolutions, adding that the international community was committed to achieving a peaceful solution. North Korea, meanwhile, said it has agreed to regularly communicate with the UN, meanwhile adding that the UN envoy acknowledged the negative impact of the sanctions on humanitarian aid to the country.
The Arab League says US President Donald Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital risks plunging the Middle East into violence and chaos. Trump's latest move ended US neutrality on one of the most sensitive issues in the Middle East and led to violent clashes and protests in Israel, Palestine and overseas.
Foreign ministers of 22 countries, including close US allies across the region, met in Cairo yesterday to discuss a response to Trump's announcement, which overturned decades of US policy towards the Middle East. Following hours of discussions, they arrived at a resolution stating that US had withdrawn itself as a sponsor and broker of any possible Israeli-Palestinian peace process through its decision. The resolution also requests the UN Security Council to reject Trump's decision. Israel has always regarded Jerusalem as its capital, while Palestinians claim East Jerusalem as the capital of a future Palestinian state.
Let's now take a look at some other stories making news from across the world.
British Foreign Minister Boris Johnson arrived in Iran yesterday, where he met his Iranian counterpart Mohammad Javad Zarif to lobby for the release of jailed Iranian British aid worker Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe. Johnson will also meet President Hassan Rouhani during the visit, which is only the third by a British Foreign Minister to Iran in the last 14 years. Amid a series of devastating wildfires across Southern California, the state's governor, Jerry Brown, says fires fueled by climate change have become the new normal. Hundreds of firefighters have been battling the fires, which have forced thousands of people from their homes since Monday. Archaeologists in Egypt have displayed several artifacts, including a mummy from one of two previously unexplored tombs in the ancient Nile city of Luxor. The mummy is believed to be that of a senior official from Egypt's New Kingdom about 3,500 years ago.
You are watching Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
Good day in cricket. Sri Lanka bounced back today to mark a shocking 7-wicket victory against India in a welcome break from their losing streak in one-day internationals. The spellbinding performance of Sri Lankan bowlers devastated the Indian batting lineup for a meagre 112 all-out at Dharamsala.
Winning the toss, skipper Thisara Perera elected to bowl first. India could only score 10 runs in their first 10 overs for the loss of 3 wickets, which marks the lowest total a team has ever scored within power play.
Up goes the finger of Anil Chaudhary. Leading edge as he pulled off a brilliant one now.
Gone, number 4. Again caught on the crease. The feet going nowhere. A bound.
Sri Lankan bowlers showed no mercy to the Indians, dismissing the top 5 for just 16 runs, marking the lowest total ever scored by an Indian team for the loss of 5 wickets.
Gone. And this is another super. Bowled in.
Former Indian skipper Mahendra Singh Dhoni, however, put up a one-man show, scoring a much-needed 65 off 87 balls for the home side. Chasing a victory target of 113, the visitors lost 2 quick wickets for just 19 runs. Upul Taranga pairing up with Angelo Matthews made work easy as they brought a stability into the Sri Lankan innings. Although Upul Taranga fell just 1 run short of a half-century, Matthews together with Niroshan Dikwala shepherded the visitors towards victory.
And this, hopefully, will spur them on to more life.
On to women's cricket now. Sydney Thunder claimed a record-breaking Big Bash win over Melbourne Renegades at the North Sydney Oval yesterday. Sydney's 204-6 is the largest ever score in the Women's Big Bash League.
Winning the toss, Melbourne Renegades decided to bowl first. Coming into play, Sydney Thunder played a spectacular innings by scoring 200 for 6. Rachel Hines played a 41-ball 55 for the Thunders.
Carried. And now she's adding some trickery to the box and dice. Beautifully played.
Chasing a victory target of 201, Melbourne Renegades performed brilliantly as the match saw some stellar performances, including a knock of 81 from Jess Duffin.
Huge, massive, clean strike over the...
Duffin's performance, however, came to an end with her dismissal by the third umpire.
So the reverse sweep got the top edge. Lisa Griffith diving forward.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's hit the ground.
So while the finger is underneath, there's a good part of the ball that's hit the ground.
This game got to dish up. Just waiting for confirmation here. What? Out. Well, I'm staggered.
Melbourne Renegades, however, fell 12 runs short of Sydney Thunder's total of 200 for 6.
Easy catch to finish it from Harmonpreet Kaur. That is one of the great catches.
You are watching Sri Lanka's trusted news brand, Other Derana 24/7.
Star racer Lewis Hamilton was crowned a 4-time Formula One world champion at the FIA's annual awards ceremony held in Paris. Teenage racer Billy Monger, whose lower legs were amputated following an accident in April, won FIA President's Special Award.
Britain's Lewis Hamilton was handed the Formula One title for the 4th time yesterday at a glittering ceremony at the Palace of Versailles in Paris.
To Lewis Hamilton.
Hamilton took 9 victories this season, scoring points in every Grand Prix and established a new benchmark of 72 career pole positions, beating Michael Schumacher's previous record of 68. British teenager Billy Monger, who had his lower legs amputated after a horrific smash in a Formula 4 race at Donington Park in April, was presented with the FIA President's Special Award.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
Here's a look at the weather update for tomorrow.
Good evening and welcome to Forecast First. Now tomorrow's temperatures will average at around 27 degrees Celsius in coastal areas and 22 degrees in the central hills. Now a low pressure zone can be expected to form in scattered locations across the country. Now mainly fair weather will prevail across the country except for showers in Vaunia and Putlam. Further south, showers can also be expected in Negombo, Mathura and Hambantota with thunder showers in Kandy and Batticaloa. It's time now for the City by City forecast.
That's it from First at Night tonight. Before we go, we'd like to leave you with some action from the ski slopes of Ruka, Finland, where Canada's six-time World Cup champion Mikhail Kingsbury skied his way to a gold medal at the World Cup Moguls. Have a pleasant evening. Enjoy the visuals. Good night.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.